boom. Good morning. We made it. We're here together. We did it. I definitely need to shave, but we made it this morning. It is somewhat cold, dark, and humid at the same time, if that is possible. Isn't that wild? Let's see what we have over here. Let's check this out. Click that, and we will hit this. And I believe that'll go over there. Perfect. Yay. Okay, I did it correctly. So a lot going on, especially in the NFL right now. It is a crazy time, and the preseason has been wild. And this is interesting. It looks like the Titans narrowly beat the Vikings 24-16. I probably would have not predicted that. But you got to remember, it's all third string, right? It's all third string players. So you can't get too excited. You've got all the key people not risking the chance of being hurt. I'm excited about the Cowboys, even though they lost to the Seahawks. What I did see was pretty amazing, to be honest. You know, people never talk about how important it is to have a good kicker. If you don't have a good kicker, you're in rough times ahead. Today is a big day. Today is Tia's birthday, and Tia's very excited. Tony D is in the house. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. We'll have to do an NFL show sometime in the future, buddy. Especially here on, well, I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying Instagram sometime. I do love the quality, though, of YouTube. It's low lighting right now, and yet it's still pretty good. Look at it. It's not bad. What is better? Let's see here. Oh, no, it's not even plugged in. We're going to make do with what we got. And I kind of like this lighting. It's not overdone. I find, too, if I go crazy with the lighting, I look really, really washed out. It is one of those kind of dark mornings. On an average day, I would be somewhat washed out here. So maybe I'll just enjoy the lighting I have. You know, here is the thing. Deuce Vaughn, unbelievable for the Cowboys. I'm amazed at how well he is doing. I expected him to be okay. I didn't expect him to be in the highlight reels. Jason Myers, he looks like he's solid. But we're coming very close to, we have the real players, we have the real schedule, a lot of pressure. There's already a lot of weird stuff going on, social media with the players. Aaron Rodgers is doing his cryptic messages across the board. It's wild. We have insane wildfires throughout Canada, and it's affecting everyone. The air quality is horrible. One of my favorite contributors on YouTube the other day almost lost his voice. And he was very, very worried that he might get trapped in amongst the fires. And that happens. You can sometimes get boxed in. Do you think things are going to get better in the future with the climate? I personally don't. All right. It suddenly got darker. This is the dark mic. All right. Let's see what we got here. We'll type this in. But yeah, I've decided I'm going to do a few shows in the morning through the week and check out some of the top stories. Interesting. It says Donald Trump says he will skip the GOP presidential primary debates. Yeah, because they'll just annihilate him. That'll be way too stressful for him. We also have the tropical storm Hillary hit Southern California. These pictures aren't very good. The first tropical storm to hit Los Angeles in more than 80 years unleashed furious floods across parts of Southern California. And California is more accustomed to drought. Wow. So it's really happening. Areas that at one point were cool at certain times of the year are now mild. It's not good. You know, how long is it going to be before you're not going to be able to get any form of insurance? Yeah, and here's what some of the people are saying. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says she is still worried people could be let down and that they're not fully seeing the potential of what can happen in the near future. They should be prepared. And storms sometimes come in cluster groups. So you have to be ever aware. But I'm telling you, I'm looking here in the Globe and Mail, and most of these cars are halfway underwater. It's so funny. You know, some 6, 8, 10 months later, you see those cars for sale. All right, let's see what we have here. I'm going to check. Actually, you know what? I should do this. This is nice. People like when I do this. So I'm going to go to Twitter. X. What is the X? Really? Tony, what are they doing with the X? I don't know. Oh, this is nice. Focus on what you want, and the universe will steer your path. I think that's true. I think it's more of a frequency thing, though. I think you have to be in a position where you can align yourself to the higher frequencies, which means that you have to stay somewhat out of the dumps. Ooh, look at this. You can only pick 2 free things for life: free gas, free alcohol, free groceries, free plane tickets, free pizza from anywhere. I like the last one. So we'll do that again. Free gas, free alcohol, free groceries, free plane tickets, free pizza from anywhere. You can only pick 2 for life. Well, I would say gas. And free groceries. That's the safest. And then my third choice would be free plane ticket. And that might be the most important if the weather is unbelievable or you're in a very hostile situation and you want to get out. All right, let's see. Let's take a quick look at the notifications today. All right. Edward Sim, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tim Brown, for everything that you do. Yeah, oh, that's very nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. I also want to do a shout out to Jenna and Ken and Sage. Thank you for everything you do. Rick and I have been friends for a very long time. All right. Patricia, I think I'm saying that right. Super Gina, who I've been following maybe for 10 years. The Journeyman. The Journeyman. Very deep. I know him from Twitter Spaces. Let's see what. Marshall. Thank you, Marshall. Jeffrey. Oh, that's very nice of you, Gina. Okay, what do we got here? Lisa Johnson. Thank you for all your support. Star Bright. Pat Grant. Thank you so much for everything you do. Nino's Digital Cafe. Highly recommend it. He's always doing stuff to make things more community-based. I think that's the nicest way to describe what he is building on Twitter Spaces. All right, let's see here. Let's check the list here for a second. And we will go to I don't know which list to start with. Let's look here first. See, and that's the thing. So many people already are injured in football right now. Despite all the injuries, many of the coaches are saying we're going to be okay. We haven't even got to the first game. Yeah, it's funny. Around the world, most places love soccer and rugby. But in the States, football is a religion. No doubt about it. Who are right now your favorite coaches in the NFL? If you can, put it in the comments or make a video about it. Oh, we have the garbage truck. I haven't heard that in a long time. I always knew when I was doing the morning show that if I heard the garbage truck, it was going to be around 8:30. Well, it's 8:11 right now. So they're coming a little earlier than they used to. How do you guys think the New Orleans Saints will do this year? The New Orleans Saints. I love that. I was watching a show yesterday about the logos that have been put on helmets over the years and how much painful logos had been put on briefly and then taken away. And one of the most successful logos that is on a helmet is the Green Bay one. It has not changed. Oh, congratulations to so many people right now that are having new additions to their family. Happy birthday to countless people right now. Thank you to Ron Perry. Thank you so much. Skywalker HL, thank you so much for your support as well. Thank you, Heinz. Thank you, Alicia, for all that you do. Starting is half the battle. I would agree. Starting. Get it started. Do your first step. Trust that you're going to be okay, that things are going to work well. Even if you're doing a show like this in the morning, you have to have faith that everything is going to unfold in such a manner that you're going to be okay, that you're not just going to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs. I have seen people do that where they're just looking at the screen, hoping someone will say something. I have the Idea X is doing no favorite NFL coach at this time. Come on. You can think of one. Okay. The other second question is, what are your 3 favorite quarterbacks in the league right now? 3 favorite quarterbacks. And if you can, I am simultaneously doing this through other networks, and I'm reading the notifications from Twitter. So you're seeing the feed from, I think you're on YouTube. That's what I'm thinking. The other one where you get some traffic is Facebook, but Facebook, I stay away from that. It's too close to home, and we sometimes get wild. Plus, people say crazy stuff. And I also like to thank the people that support me on Twitter. So, on an average morning, I will have a feed of about 50 people that are retweeting the shouts that I did. And it's funny, I can even see the people who are verified, which is really weird. But according to this, Jenna is verified, Ken is verified, the Journeyman is verified, Marsha is verified. I don't know how important that is now because you have to pay for it every month. So you have all these people that are legitimate stars. You know, they are famous in their own right and are not verified on Twitter. And that's just basically the way it is. And I think those who are branding will pay. For those who don't care and don't need the exposure of Twitter, the only problem with that is then you're going to have so many accounts of people who will pay to be verified who are maybe copycat. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but it was a way for Elon Musk to generate income. I also have now the ability to start asking for subscriptions. I'm not there yet. I'm going to have to fill out the rest of the forms, but I have been okayed for that. I'm also now receiving payment through stars on Facebook, but not on Instagram. So I'm not sure how you get paid on Instagram. Plus, on Instagram, I think I have 2,000 followers, which is nothing. Jace Jacobs is someone that I highly recommend to follow on Twitter. Okay, here we go. Dijon Watson and Geno Smith. Really? I don't see you live on Twitter. With Twitter, I have it through the private group, and people can watch it. But what I'm reading right now is just people who said hello today. I highly doubt any of these people are watching me. So, but they may watch me later, which is funny because they watch me later and then go, "Thank you for the shout out. Thank you so much." And they like it. I think we all like to hear about each other. So right now, Coach Turby is one of my favorites too. The other thing I'm going to start doing, Tony, is I'm going to simultaneously while I go live, it's going to be difficult, but also be on Twitter Spaces. And I want to hook that up. I know that there's a very good chance because of the bandwidth that I have here, it won't do it. And that was the great thing about Haps. Haps would have it go through their server. Let's see here. And you know what? I wish I could do screen share. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. I wonder how well. I've never done it. Let's just try this. Let's see. I've seen people do this. There's a view. Look up there. Okay, you can see the screen here now. Kind of, right? It's funny, it looks backwards to me. But this morning, if you look here, this is the verified. Can you even read it? Yeah. Okay. There's the verified. This is the all. And this is this morning, 5 minutes ago, 18 minutes ago, 34 minutes ago, 1 hour ago. And as you can see, and this is just shout traffic. And as you can see, we have a little storylines here at the side, which is kind of cool. We got a bunch of flowers. All right, I'm just going to turn it around. But Twitter has always been where I generate the most traffic. And one of the people that I admire the most yesterday watched my first live that I had done on YouTube here. And I mean, since Haps. The wonderful thing about Haps is that if I wanted to go, say, shave, or I wanted to go get a coffee, I could put a tune on. So I'm going to learn how to run again OBS. But the thing is, it's not this clear. This is crazy clear. And my camera hasn't changed since Hap. It's a very inexpensive. Okay. Yeah. But I see people do that all the time. The other thing I see people do, which is quite bright, is they have their phone with them and then they'll just put their phone up. So if they don't like a comment or a picture or a statement of someone, what they said, they do that. I can honestly say I miss the community of Haps, but I don't miss the drama of Haps. Who are you most excited to see play this year, Tony? And are you currently at work right now, or are you just at home? I'm working. I'm getting monetized on Facebook too. Got it set up to be monetized on Twitter. Oh, good for you, buddy. Yeah, I have to fill out some paperwork. I've been okayed, though. There's a form that I have to fill out. You know what? I should do that today. But the thing is, though, I'm not in a position to give anybody, I think, what is deemed to be subscribable content yet. I'm not in that boat. I don't have that kind of time. But it's nice to know that I qualified, because there are a lot of individuals griping saying they've been trying forever. But a lot of them are into different modalities. We'll call it that. We'll call it modalities. I like this. Michael, what is the definition of relaxation? I don't know. I think for everyone it's different. So if you know what, I better confident speaking. Okay, poised, concise, prepared for the moment. Can you hear the buzzsaw in the background? That's funny. That is Tom Brown. Not Tom Brown. Do you know who Tom Brown is? Tom Brown was a guy who did Dance with Me. And he did, what was the other one? There was two. There was another one. I'll think about it. I'll look it up. But big hits in the 70s. This is Tim Brown, not Tom Brown. Ash, good morning, boys. Hope you're all misbehaving. Ash, how are you? Good to see you. Hello, Richard. I'm glad you're here. Ash, you should do your cards, do your readings, on here. Do you do that live ever? That might be good promotion for you. But it's been a while. And that's the thing, too, I find with the platforms is many people. See, everyone's talking amongst each other. Okay, so let's go to list. I have to admit, though, there are things about Twitter now that are just not the same. It's crazy. Is it up here, what I'm looking for? This is interesting. There it is. Got it. Okay. So we're going to do a few quotes and then we might call it a day. Oh, look at that. Look at Tony. He's going to town. What are 3 words better than I love you? That's the question. What are the 3 words that are better than I love you? If you can put that in the comments, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate that. Carly Joy, radiate positivity every day. Well, Carly, thank you. You definitely are one of the brightest lights. Thank you, Melanie. She's from Canada. Melissa Stewart. Oh, I like this. How much coffee is too much coffee? That's a good question. How much coffee is too much coffee? We should ask Richard that. How far do you walk, Richard? I saw a survey, a study, and then I went even deeper, but I won't go to the deeper part. And it talked about where you could be obese, up to 100 pounds overweight. And as long as you walked every day for 15 minutes, you would outlive someone who is deemed to be in a weight that fluctuates maybe 10 to 20 pounds. It is so important for the body to be active, especially walking in amongst nature. The other thing that works too, believe it or not, is if you're feeling very ungrounded, take your shoes off, take your socks off. If you're near, the beach, put your feet in the sand. That will neutralize your body energetically. The other thing that's really good is just putting your feet, bare feet, in the grass. Part of the thing that, running shoes are really comfortable. They really are. But they don't help us get connected, the rubber soles, to the energies of the earth. Yeah, 20 to 25 minutes. That's perfect. I walk now because of Tia, and Tia's 2 years old today. 2 years old. I've been on the crazy train now. We purchased her when she was 4 months old. And the people who had her, I think, wanted to breed her because of her size and color. And they realized how much work she was and decided no. Time is good. Time is good. If you can go fairly fast and get your heart rate up, that's great too. But if your joints are bad, and I see that in the neighborhood, there are people in their, I would say, late 70s, and they walk every day. They walk in the morning, they walk in the afternoon, they walk at night. They walk very slowly, but they're walking. And guess what? They're still alive. The other thing that really affects you is drinking. If you drink, not good. If you smoke, not good. What you eat, not good. If you live at McDonald's, not good. So as you get older, there's less and less choices of what is healthy. You would love Tia. She's just this beacon of light. She's so happy all the time. I don't know if you guys remember, just near the, I would say the very end of HAPS, she would sometimes be under the desk. Well, she weighed then, oh my God, what did she weigh then? She might have weighed 45 pounds. She now weighs about 85 pounds. And she's double the size, length, everything. She is a brute. And daily, I struggle to keep her on leash if she sees a dog, a squirrel, a bunny, anything. So I've hurt my hip, I've hurt my back, I've hurt my leg, I've hurt my elbow. And she's been wild. I've had friends who tried walking her and went, no, I can't do it. She's too much. Now, she'll calm down. But already today, I was up this morning at 3 with my wife, and I took her out around 3:30, and then I took her out again at 6:30, I think. So, Ash, would you be open if we could get, say, Tony D, you, and I, and maybe just do like a 1 hour thing or a half an hour show? I know Richard might be open to that as well. She needs a halty. I have one of those. It's so funny. I even have it doesn't have the spurs in it, but she has a choke collar, and she'll be like, and she's still plowing forward. Doesn't care. She sounds like a freight train coming. She's like, when she gets in the adrenaline mode, we're done. I like this one. Mind Healthy Money. Intelligence consists in recognizing opportunity. I would agree with that. Okay, here's one. This is David Bennett. Our seeking mind is always looking until we come back to ourselves. To what? What's alive for us in this moment? To what's alive for us in this moment? That is some weird. That's Dharma Talks. I think that's a very complicated way of saying what we think about most, we receive in our lives. What we focus on daily over and over and over and over again, we get more of in life. Okay, Melanie wrote this. Everyone is doing their best. She is proud of everyone who is keeping a journal. And her parents taught her what matters most in life. And then the hashtag is Poetry Starfish Club, hashtag X, and mental health. Yes, they are. They are. But if you don't have that, she will literally drag my wife. Drag her. Now, I loved having the harness on her, because then if she got crazy, I could just lift her. You know, I'm 60 now, but I can still lift 80 pounds. So if she's nuts, I just lift her. And then she can't, her legs are just going there, right? But where I'm living right now is they're doing endless amounts of renovations. So it's probably a good idea every morning to start early. And I have a portion of the apartment. This area that I'm in now, many, many years ago, was a balcony. This was a secondary balcony to this unit. And then what they decided to do is enclose them all. It would have been cool if they kept it as a balcony, but then I wouldn't have this mini studio. And it really is only as wide as, I'm trying to think here what this would be. It's probably 5.5 feet wide, and it is 14 feet long, maybe something like that. 12, 14 feet long. So here we go. Looking into Restream or bringing people up in your YTV stream, Michael, it's easy peasy to use. Tony, Helen, and myself use it on Twitch, but it can be used on from YT, which is YouTube. I see YT. I saw YT and I think YT. YTV is youth television in Canada. I'm thinking, oh, well, different strokes for different folks. So you ended up with another room. This used to be our pantry. We had in here just endless canned goods. And then we found that all we were really doing when we did that, we were feeding Laura and our kids. It because they would just come in. It was a grocery store. Do you have this? I need this. And it was never replaced. So we were spending thousands of dollars, and it would be like, oh, I need pasta sauce. I need pasta. I need some rice. Do you have garlic? Oh, you only have this garlic. Oh. Do you have toilet paper? Do you have... Oh, good. Oh, good. You have laundry detergent. Oh, you have dish soap. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Oh, I need razors. Oh, you have cream rinse. Well, thank you. And they bundle out and leave, and nothing was ever replaced. The great thing about it, though, especially in that time, was we were in a position where we could help, and most of my children now are doing far better than I am. And that's the way you want it. You want your kids to be, oh my God, leaps and bounds better than you ever were. That's the goal, right? That they're doing phenomenal. And even Laura is really getting her stride lately. So it's fantastic. That's family. And that's what family does for family. And that's kind of what we had on HAPS for a while. We were a very dysfunctional family, right? But I'm going to every day in the morning, sometime, be on here roughly 30 minutes to an hour. I might start playing music. And then I know Tony knows this, I'll get these. This is not a strike. This is just a warning. This is from Sony. Now, the thing is, when we used to post to Twitter, and we used to post to Facebook, and we used to post, what else do we used to go to? Help me. Twitch. And there was one more. Of course, HAPS and YouTube. There was a point when we would simultaneously be on all those. And then all morning, all I got in my message box was Warner Brothers, Sony, Rhino, Alligator Records. So I got to a point where I tried to support just independent artists. And it was so nice. The other day, I was at a blues concert, and I saw David Gogo. And you could tell he was happy that I had been promoting his music. During the pandemic, all these artists were unable to tour, and now they're touring all over the world. But the problem is, a lot of them are 3 or 4 years older than the last time I saw them, and they just don't have the gas in the tank that they once did. Still on Twitch, and is a great place to live stream from. But can you go from Twitch to YouTube? You know what I found on Twitch, though, to be honest with you, and I don't get this on YouTube. And if I had, 1 million followers, of course I would, but you don't get the bots. You get the people who really like you. You might get 100 people in the course of the day, and then if you keep it up, more and more people will watch it later. But I love the idea of reaching out and being able to talk to everybody. I think it'll be fun in the future. I'm shocked that they don't have the same tools that HAPS had, or something very similar to it. I think you'll see that in the future. Has anybody been on Instagram? Because I might try that. I might start doing that in the morning. But it's going to have to be super PG. Because everybody at work watches that. See, where with this, and even today, I don't know if you noticed, I'm being pretty PG here. I'm not going off the rails. You don't have a bot problem, Richard? God, we have a bot problem. On Twitter Spaces, there's been so many times I've been on, and not big broadcasts, like, they have 30 people, which is not a big thing in Twitter Spaces. You can have 500, 600 people, 1,000. They've been hijacked repeatedly, over and over, to the point where they had to stop the broadcast, or the broadcast stopped suddenly, and then the next thing they knew, they gave up. They had tried 4 times, and this is in the span of, I don't know, an hour, roughly an hour. Now we've been on a grand total of 40 minutes. Do you remember when we used to do Haps? We would sometimes have, if it was a short show, it would be 50 minutes. Of that 50 minutes, I would say 30 of it were music if I was feeling lazy. I remember my routine. I would comb my hair back, I'd slick it back, I'd splash my face, I'd start the coffee maker, I'd play a long track or some form of a mix, get back, and then I would talk to someone either from England or Scotland, usually. And it was fun. It was fun. And that was around, most mornings around 5:36. And then I remember Richard used to go on around 6:30, I think. And at any time when it was peaking on Haps, I don't know, what was the maximum we had on there at any time? 60 streams going at one time? Where with Twitter Spaces, oh my God, there's thousands. The infrastructure for that would be insane to maintain that. And they're no longer storing the broadcast for more than, I think, a month, because it's too expensive to maintain it. Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse is very old new. I don't know what that means. It's very old new. Oh, I see what you're saying. You know what's weird, though? More and more people don't want to be seen. Like, look at me today. I'm unkept. I've got the shadow going on. I'm old. I'm gray. But if you're on a podcast, no one sees you, and you can post a picture from 85 years ago. News. Yeah. Well, you know what they're doing in Canada? All the feeds where you try to do news, they're shutting them down on Meta, because the Canadian government decided they want to get a percentage of the revenue that Facebook is generating. And Facebook basically told them to take a jump off a bridge. So the other day, there were all these fires. And if you've been following what's going on out west, especially in BC, people were basically reporting saying, look, don't go down this road. It's dangerous. There's fires. Be aware, self-prepare. These weren't getting through on Facebook. Meta stopped them, because Meta's like, screw you. We're not playing your game. And we're not going to have where you try to get money out of us later for doing that. So all these people are enraged in Canada that this is happening. But I think you're going to see on social media in the future, it's going to be a mess. And I think you're going to see all these different newscasts try to hang on. Now, I don't know if you know anything about, anything to do with Canadian broadcasting. I would say 85% of the revenue is through donations through the government. 15% is through ads, maybe, depending on the program. And they basically are filtered in what they can say and do. So it really isn't real news. And I found for a very long time that if I wanted real news, I have to go to feeds like in Australia or Germany, somewhere in Europe. And a lot of those are not funded to the same degree as they are in Canada. It's the same thing with the music business. You can get funding for Canadian content, but if you have a radio station, you have to play, I think it's 40%. Either it's the producer, the writer, or the artist that has, or the studio, or the publishing has to be Canadian. And if you don't keep up with it, there is fines. It's funny, though, because these stations are owned by the government, so you know it's regulated. The truth is, though, I have all these friends like Jack DeKaiser who their music gets played, but they never get paid. But he's so grateful that the music is being heard, he doesn't care. And he hopes that someone will hear him on the CBC and they'll buy his product or go to his concert or go to his website and purchase some of his CDs. But a lot of it now for these artists is the gigs. So you could tell a lot of them were exhausted because they're back on the crazy field, and they make most of their money within about 3 months. There's about 3 months in the summer that they generate, I would believe, at least 70% of their income. But I don't know. I'm a little worried about the environment. I'm worried about the control that we're seeing all over the place with governments. The other thing that's weird, and I'd love to talk about it before I go, I don't know if you guys follow at all the alien UFO disclosure stuff. I've been watching that for over 10 years, maybe more, but really heavily the last 5. And now all these things that happened, say 10, 15 years ago, the government now is safe to talk about. The weird thing is, though, many people believe the reason we're finding out about these situations now is it's time, or there is an agenda, and they want us to be in fear of the unknown, and this is a great way to keep us under wraps or under their thumb. I would love to know what anybody thinks. So, folks, we're going to wrap this up soon. We're getting close to 50 minutes, which is about the time I want to do these every day. So, this is funny. Signs that a woman had no or a weak father. You ready? I'm going to read that again. Signs that a woman had no or a weak father. That's really weird writing. Okay. Gets triggered when she reads this. Obsessed with online followers. Has no traditional values. Thinks she is the boss. Has a high body count. What does that mean? Has a high body count. I don't think that's the right wording. Oh, we got the buzzsaw in the background. That's awesome. Believes in Australia. Uses no logic. And that was from Jacked. Well, I don't know. This is so funny. Okay, let's do this one here. Beware of the broken crowd. They are often the ones urging you to splurge on worthless stuff. Don't fall for their financial pitfalls. Focus on building your wealth by starting with your spending. Invest in valuable experiences and assets. Don't fall for the fleeting trends. And it's funny because I've always said, whatever was really hot or big 10 to 15 years ago, you can find on the curb now. So the TV that I probably spent $2,000 on 15 years ago is on the curb, right? Or if I purchased some, weight loss program in the sense of, if you remember the Bowflex. The Bowflex is resistance training, which can be done with nothing, really. You can use your own body. My friend bought a Bowflex, paid, I think, $1,500, paid $1,500 10 years ago, when $1,500 is probably more like $2,500 now with inflation, and used it as a coat rack in his bedroom. He never used it. I used it a few times. I didn't find that it gave me the same satisfaction as it did by lifting free weights. If you love riding a bike, oh my God, that's phenomenal. If you're a person who loves swimming, there's an individual who lives in this building and he gets up every morning and he walks here. I'm going to do this. This might help. Let's push this over. All right. He walks, I think, 50 minutes to get to the Y, and then he swims 1 hour. That guy's going to live a long time. And the great thing about doing swimming is it's non-impact. Where if you're running, all my friends that are runners have ended up hurting themselves really badly. Okay, so let's dive back into, before we go, because I always love to end it. Let's see here with football. Because I always feel like there's nobody here by the end anyways. All right. Here we go. One of my favorite sites is a site called NFL Rumors on Twitter. It's fun. Yeah, see, here you go. San Francisco 49ers, Nick Bosa reportedly could miss games in the regular season unless a contract can be worked out. There's all these people still holding out. And the other thing that's going on right now is all the owners have gotten together and they've decided they're not going to pay running backs anymore. At least they're not going to pay them the crazy money that they used to pay them in their minds. They don't feel like they're getting the same value that they got before. They're just not. Richard, do you think the backs were getting paid too much before, the running backs? Or is it that is one some like a position that doesn't necessarily need specialized skills to do it? It's more of a physical attributes, more the way you're built and your, I don't know. Says former Denver Broncos QB Tim Tebow, Florida teammates used to chase him around with photos of naked women to test his virginity claims. Oh my God, people are nuts. I watched a show the other day, Richard, where it talked about the history of all the different clubs and how far back some of the clubs went. Some of them are, the 20s, a lot of them are the 40s, and they just talked about all the changes in the uniforms over the years. It was really fun. I'm so excited about all the changes. I'm ecstatic with a lot of the rookies. I think we're going to see some very disappointed teams with the quarterbacks at the beginning because I think their expectations are too high. But all of them have to be played. The only way they're going to get the skill sets that they need is to get the reps in. And I just pray that no one really gets super hurt. Aaron Rodgers is in the news every day. More and more now because of his cryptic tweets that he's been sending. He's still trying to find the pieces that he needs to build the ultimate team. I don't think he feels like he's there. The offensive line, I don't think he's very happy with. Oh my God, look at this. We're seeing more of this. And we used to see this mostly in Europe, soccer games. We're seeing now where fans are punching the crap out of each other in the stands. I don't remember that when I used to go as a kid. And it's so out of control. Like, wow. People are, I think, at the brink. A lot of people are just have no nerves. You think something's going on with the running backs. Yeah. You know what it is? I think so many owners have been burned with these contracts, and sometimes they paid up to $15 million, and we'll say the Cowboys, and they never got the production that they got from the quarterback or the running back when they were paying them nothing, when they were straight from the draft. And that's why they love the draft. It really limits what the players can make. And I think it lessens the risk. I love when you see people who are, third tier, fourth tier, round in the draft, and they suddenly become this all-star within 3 to 4 years. And the problem is everybody wants instant everything. And when you're building a team, and especially a quarterback, that might be a 3 to 5 year transition for them to get used to the pace. And then you got to pray that they don't get hurt. Everyone's assuming that the top 5 quarterbacks from last year are going to be healthy again. Don't forget, every year there's battle scars, and you have, old injuries. It's like I'm thinking in my head, I don't want to be mean, but even Kirk Cousins, when he was, in the documentary that they had on Netflix, was talking about how he was playing in pain all the time. And I think that is more normal than it is abnormal. And there's expectations to play, and they're paying you, a lot of money. But the problem is the window of them paying you could be only 3 to 5 years. Now, if you're a quarterback and you heal well and you have a really good offensive line, you are better off. You're better off to be maybe drafted later because you'll end up on a better team. If you're first round, there's a very good chance that you are not going to get the support that you need to be healthy for that first year or two. And, don't ever estimate the power of the coach or even the ownership to be patient with you. Many times now, people, if they're frustrated, they'll have 3 or 4 quarterbacks. And it's not a team, really. It's a business. And people forget this is a multi-billion-dollar business. And they're breaking up, the NFL in so many chunks now. And so many of these monster corporations are buying pieces of the NFL. And it's wild. It's hard to even have an idea of how many different networks are doing it. Like even Amazon is part of it. Within Prime, they have it. And then there's going to be something going on with YouTube. And I know that Apple is going to be doing something. So it's interesting. We have to remember that it's first a business, and these are commodities or pieces on a chessboard that can be replaced. And the teams that can be healthy enough to get through half the season without injuries have a better chance of getting in the playoffs. But if you start off where you don't have a quarterback, or you don't have a running back, or you don't have your receivers that you usually have, you're done. And I think that's why it's going to be more and more in the future, because the bar is so high now. And I really believe that any team can win on a given Sunday or Thursday or Monday. And a lot of it has to do with more so the chemistry of the team and the way it's coached, because it is such subtle differences. And giving a half decent quarterback more time in the pocket, even a second or two, you're going to find that the numbers of that QB are going to be way better. You can have the best quarterback, but if he's constantly being rushed and hit, and that's what I'm worried about with a lot of these young, new bucks that are in the NFL, I think it's going to be eye-opening. The first, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks, they're going to have to learn fast. And if they don't, and they don't get the support, we're going to have injuries. And you're going to see a lot of these teams derail. So before I go, I'm going to suggest a few CDs. I love music, but you know, in the future, I might even play some of these. So if you like smooth jazz, you can purchase this on Amazon. And this is Norman Brown. And it also features Peter White, Jeff Lober, Paul Brown. And those are all incredible guitar players. Highly recommend all of them if you like jazz. This is a Canadian band that's still around, Wide Mouth Mason. Occasionally, when I had a store way back 15, 20 years ago, the lead singer used to come in occasionally. This album is interesting because it is produced by Gordie Johnson. And Gordie Johnson is from Big Sugar. So, let's see here. What else do we have? This is an incredible collection right here. And if you're on a budget, if you love jazz like I do. And I didn't really like jazz until I got older. This is Miles Davis, as you can see here. You can get this on Amazon. I think I paid under $20. And it is 8 albums, digitally remastered, to be on 4 CDs. And if you're fairly new to jazz, this is a wonderful period in time. Now, when I was younger, I couldn't listen to it. I just couldn't do it. Now, we are going to also recommend one book. This book is really beat up, but it is a great book if you're looking for some deep reading. And I hope someday that there will be a movie, maybe. Now, here's an oldie but a goldie. The Bangles. This, again, was, I think, less than $10. Now, here's the funny thing. It is 3 CDs, as you can see here. And it's all the remixes. There you go. It's all the remixes as well. So if you're a DJ, you might be interested in this. And this whole series, the Gold series, there's got to be 100 artists that are on this. And some are good, some are not. Do you recognize any of the people on the back there? If you do, tell me who they are in the comments. I would be very impressed. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. And know that all of us on this planet right now are going through our own unique script, struggle, pattern. Just be kind. Be patient. And if you feel that you can't be kind, walk away. Take a breath and know that cooler minds and patience will always pay dividends. And I'm a big believer of give people enough rope until they hang themselves or clear themselves. Have a great day. God bless you all. Until next time. Peace. Thank you to everyone who left comments.